So for now I am in domain number 1, data engineering, and let's try to answer domain quiz questions right here, and let's check how I succeed these questions. So the question number 1 is: a healthcare company using the Amazon Web Service Cloud has access to a variety of data types, including raw and pre-processed data. The company wants to start using this data for its machine learning pipeline, but also wants to make sure that the data is highly available and located in a centralized repository. What approach should the company take to achieve the desired outcome? Okay, and the answers could be like this: create a data lake using Amazon S3 as a data storage layer, store unstructured data in Amazon DynamoDB, use Amazon Elastic Block Store, and use Amazon FSx to host the data for training. Okay, and this one and this one should be eliminated firstly, I think, and I leave with the first one and with the last one. And let's think a little bit. And the main keywords should be a variety of data types, and including pre-processed data. And the company wants to use this data for machine learning pipeline, and highly available and located in centralized repository. So I think create a data lake using Amazon S3 as data storage layer should be the correct one. Okay, let's see and go to the next question. A data scientist wants to implement a near real-time anomaly detection solution for routine machine maintenance. The data is currently streamed for connected devices by Amazon Web Service IoT to an Amazon S3 bucket and then sent downstream for further processing in real-time dashboard. What service can the data scientist use to achieve the desired outcome with minimal change to the pipeline? Okay, the main keywords in here is near real-time, anomaly detection, and then real-time dashboard. I think it is the main keywords. Okay, and in here I think the Amazon Kinesis Data Analytics should be the correct one because it includes near real-time analytics service, and you can make a dashboard based on the analytics services. Okay, go to the next question. A transportation company currently uses Amazon Elastic MapReduce with Apache Spark for some of its data transformation workloads. It transforms columns of geographical data like latitudes and longitudes and adds column to segment the data into different clusters per city to attain additional features for key nearest neighbor algorithm being used. The company wants less operation overhead for their transformation pipeline. They want a new solution that does not make significant change to the current pipeline and only requires minimal management. What Amazon Web Service should the company use to build this new pipeline? Yeah, I think the main keywords in here is Amazon Elastic MapReduce with Apache Spark for data transformation workloads, geographical data, and to segment the data in different clusters per city. Then company wants operational overhead for data transformation does not make significant change. Okay, they want a new solution that does not make a significant change to the current pipeline and requires the minimal management. I think if we are talking with minimal management, we are leaving with Amazon Web Service Glue, because Elastic MapReduce requires the management and Lambda also requires the management. So I think the Glue with S3 is a simple solution to this question. Go to the yeah. And the final result to this quiz is 100%. So I answered correct to all the questions. Okay, we are on the second domain, Exploratory Data Analysis. And let's take a domain quiz in this domain, and let's start. Okay, and the first question is here. A social networking organization wants to analyze all the comments and likes from its user to flag offensive language on the site. The organization data science team wants to use a long short-term memory LSTM architecture to classify the raw sentences from the comments into one of two categories, offensive and non-offensive language. Not language, but classes. Okay, what should a team do to prepare the data for LSTM? Okay, vectorize the sentences and transform them into numerical sequences. Use the sentences as the input. Convert the individual sentences into numerical sequences starting from number 1 and for each word in the sequences. Use the sequences as the input. Vectorize the sentences, transform them into numerical sequences with a padding. Use the sentences as the input. Convert the individual sentences into sequences of words. Use those as the input. Okay, as you know, for LSTM we need to use paddings because we need to ingest the same length of input. So you can clarify me on the comments, but I choose this. We need to transform into numerical sequences with a padding. The second question is, a data scientist created a correlation matrix between 9 variables and the target variable. The correlation coefficient between two of the numerical variables, variable 1 and variable 5, is minus 0.95. How should the data scientist interpret the correlation coefficient? This question is very easy, and if we have a negative correlation coefficient, that means that if one variable is increasing, then the second one is decreasing. So, and the correct answer to this question could be, yeah, as variable 1 increases, variable 5 decreases. This is not correct because increasing. No. Okay, I think the correct one is this one. Okay, and we had only 4 questions in here, and I collected 100%. That means all the answers are correct from my side, and that's all for this domain quiz. And on the next part, we go to the next domain quiz. Okay, and now we on the domain number 3 is modeling, and let's start the domain quiz in here. So let's click here, and okay, the first question is, a manufacturing company wants to increase the longevity of its factory machines by predicting when a machine part is about to stop working, jeopardizing the health of machines. The company team of data scientists will build a machine learning model to accomplish this goal. The model will be trained on data made up of consumption metrics from similar factory machines. It is very important, from similar factory machines, and will span a time frame from 1 hour before a machine part broke down to 5 minutes after the part degraded. What kind of machine learning algorithm should the company use for this build this model? And okay, what I can say that the most important keyword in this question is from similar factory machines. That means that we have historical data from multiple different machines, and we want to predict a feature for single machine that based on our machine history. And for this problem, deep AR is the perfect solution. Okay, the second question is, a data scientist working for an autonomous vehicle company is building a machine learning model to detect and label people and various objects, for instance, cars and traffic signs, that may be encountered on the street. The data scientist has a dataset made up of labeled images which will be used to train their machine learning model. What kind of machine learning model, not model, algorithm should be used? We have image localization, semantic segmentation, that is absolutely for I think is good candidate. Image classification, absolutely not, and instance segmentation. I'm thinking between semantic segmentation and instance segmentation, and only one difference between these two segmentation is semantic segmentation trying to recognize the same kind of object and let's say make in the same color, and instance segmentation trying to do the same, but it separate different objects even if they belong to the same class. So I'm using the instance segmentation. Okay, next one. A data scientist is training convolutional neural network model to detect incoming employees at a company front gate using a camera so that the system opens for them automatically. However, the model is taking too long to convert and the error oscillates for more than 10 epochs. What should the data scientist do to improve upon the situation? And we need to select the two options. Yeah, okay, and when we have this kind of problem, we need to think about how we can to solve the long converge of the training, and how we can to reduce the error rate. I think in this situation, decrease weight decay is not for this one. Normalize the image before training. Yeah, I think we need to normalize images before ingesting it to neural network. Increase batch size, I'm not sure. And add batch normalization. From my experience, I know that it's make impact to training progress. Add more epoch, I think it will not solve this kind of situation, so I'll leave it as it is with normalize the image before training and add batch normalization. Okay, so the next question is, a data scientist at a waste recycle company trained a convolutional neural network model to classify waste at the company sites. Incoming waste was classified as either trash, compost, or recyclable. Yes, it's 1, 2, 3 classes. To make it easier for the machine to split the incoming waste into the appropriate bins. During the testing, the F1 score was 0.918, and the company's senior leadership originally asked the data scientist to reach F1 score at least 0.95. What should the data scientist do to improve the score without spending too much time optimizing the model? Using the momentum to improve the training in the Amazon SageMaker training job. Okay, maybe. Run the Amazon SageMaker training job for more epoch. I am critical to this answer. Use the Amazon SageMaker tuning jobs to tune the hyperparameters used. Increase batch size to improve the score in the Amazon SageMaker training job. Okay, in this question I didn't found any keywords about hyperparameters is being used, so I think the first step that I will check is to hyperparameter tuning. I think it's a necessary step in this situation, so I leave it with this option. And okay, 100% all my answers are correct ones. That's really good. See you on the next part. Okay, now we on the last domain is number 4, and we have machine learning implementation and operation. And this part of the exam is the most complicated personally for me, but let's try to answer the quiz question. So let's start it. The first question is, a machine learning engineer created a pipeline for training a machine learning model using Amazon SageMaker training job. The training job began successfully but then failed after running for 5 minutes. How should the engineer begin to debug this issue? And we need to select 2 options. Okay, read carefully the answers. Check the error in the given training job directly in the Amazon SageMaker console. I think it's not in the console, should be. Call the describe job API to check the failure reason option. I don't know. Go to Amazon CloudWatch log and check the logs for the given training job. It could be, but let's go further. Log into the Amazon SageMaker training job instance and check the job history. I think this is not a good approach. We shouldn't go inside the training shop instance. We have some special service for that. And no. And the last one is the check AWS CloudTrail logs to check the error that caused the training to fail. Okay, let's think. I would eliminate this one. I would eliminate this one, and this one, this one, and this one. It's good candidates. Yeah, as you know, the SageMaker has its API, and describe job could provide this information for us. And the next option, it could be okay, if we are talking about training, not invoking from client API, I think it could be a CloudWatch. Okay, we will see. A new organization wants to extract metadata from its articles and blogs and index that metadata in Amazon Elasticsearch service to enable faster searches. What AWS service can the organization use to achieve this goal? We need to extract metadata from its articles and blogs. Okay, metadata from articles and blogs. We have a text data, and we have recognitions. It is for image data. Personalize. It is for some different problems, not for text. Amazon Textract. It's extracting the text information, text data from the images, from PDFs, as you know, and something like that. And we have Amazon Comprehend. I think Comprehend is doing this kind of task. Okay, the next question is, a machine learning specialist is evaluating a machine learning model using a custom deep learning Amazon machine image, AMI, with Anaconda installed to run workloads through the terminal. Unfortunately, the machine learning specialist does not have any experience with the deep learning AMI and wants to log into the instance and create a Python notebook, but cannot access the notebook interface. After creating the AMI instance, what step should a machine learning specialist take to create a notebook? Okay, I think we should forget about all this part of question and considering only the last question in here. And sometimes you get this kind of question that you get a lot of information that is not very important, and the last sentence is the question that you need to answer. Okay, the first is it is key into deep learning AMI instance with port forwarding at a port 8080 and start a Zeppelin application. Oh no, it's not Zeppelin. SSH into the deep learning AMI instance, start a new Flask Flask. Oh no, we are not talking about this. SSH into the deep learning AMI instance with port forwarding at a port 8888 and start a Python 3.6 application to create a new Python notebook. Okay, it could be, but the last one. SSH into the deep learning AMI instance with port forwarding at 8888, start a Jupyter Notebook application and start a new Python notebook. Okay, what is the difference between these two options? We creating a AMI instance with port forwarding at the same port and start a Jupyter Notebook application, and here we start a Python 3.6 application. I think we need to create a notebook application and then we can run a Python notebook. We will see. Okay, the next question. A machine translation company is deploying its language translation models behind an Amazon SageMaker endpoint. The company wants to deploy a solution directly on its website so that user can input text in one language and have it translated into second language. The company wants to reach a solution with a minimal maintenance and latency for spike traffic times. How should the company architect this solution? Okay, let's read the answers. Install the SageMaker runtime library on the web server. Call the invoke endpoint from the web server. Use the Lambda to call invoke endpoint. Use the Amazon API gateway URL to call the Amazon Lambda function. Okay, it could be create a function for Amazon AC2 instance that use curl to call the invoke. No, I think it's not this kind of answer. Use the Amazon SageMaker invoke endpoint with API gateway. Okay, it's very complicated for me, and I think that we need to work with API gateway. So this is not the answer that I wish to select. I am thinking about this one and this one. Use the Lambda to call invoke endpoint. Use the Amazon API gateway URL to call the Amazon Lambda function, or use the Amazon SageMaker invoke with API gateway. And it is an answer with including Lambda, and this is not including Lambda. And regarding this question, I'm not sure, but I would choose this answer. Okay, I got a 100%. I was not sure about some kind of question, so I succeeded, especially to this question. And this is also a very confusing question. We got a very similar options. And now I made all the domain quizzes in Amazon Web Services Readiness, and we'll meet at the main practical test on this readiness. So see you there.